But let's go ahead and move on to the first topic of the day. We got some directors hating on directors, man. It don't make no dang sense. I think this is highly unprofessional. But I have the article right here from TMZ. And again, if you're watching this via live or on the replay, there is a link to this article down in the description box for you to read at your own leisure. And if you're in the comment section, please let me know what you think in the comment section below. But it says, original Space Jam director slams new legacy bronze original Space Jam director slams new legacy. Bronze no Michael Jordan, but that's the least of its problems. And they have the exclusive, and you know, those are the two titular characters right there. But Joe Pica, the director of the Michael Jordan original Space Jam, is going off on LeBron James reboot, calling it an uninteresting mess, and that it's about the nicest thing he has to say. That's crazy. Pica, who is also known for directing popular music videos and commercials in the 80s and 90s, including the I Am Tiger Woods ad, tells TMZ, Space Jam, A New Legacy is so boring. He couldn't finish it in one sitting. In fact, he says it took him 5 separate sessions to complete its 2-hour runtime. And that's what the cat looks like right there. I'm gonna go ahead and blow up a bigger picture. And before I go to Lamont, let me go ahead and bring in my third guest of the show today. That is the living legend Larry, coming over from the east side. How are you doing, my brother? How are you doing?
Oh man, I'm just trying to be like y'all when I grow up. You know,
stop it.
I'm just trying to be fully bearded like you guys.
I'm trying to get like Elliot, man, and Lamont up there, you know. But how you doing, my brother? How you doing?
Oh man, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I was reading this article earlier, man. I was reading this, and it sounds like a lot of hateration going on over there.
I got you,
bro. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, we're gonna get to you, but I don't wanna cut the line or whatever. I'm gonna pass it to Lamont real quick first. But I definitely am eager to hear your thoughts on this. And also, Larry, thank you so much for being here, my brother. I do appreciate it. And so Lamont, coming to you, man, this is what I don't know. I mean, this is the guy. He has some comments. I cannot necessarily say that I disagree with him. I just don't think he has any room to talk. But go ahead, my brother. What do you think about these comments of him slamming the new Space Jam movie?
Complete hateration. This dude, Warner Brothers and LeBron James, did not let him direct the second cut of the movie he originally directed. Hateration. It's no secret that guy and Michael Jordan have a warm relationship with each other. And if we're going to spit out facts here, let's spit out the facts. When the original Space Jam came out, the critics gave that movie like a 46, something like that. This movie got a little higher than that. Then somehow, some way, over the next 20 some odd years, Space Jam rises in its appeal and it gets a higher critical score. Fine, I'm fine with that. But don't trash LeBron and Warner Brothers, in particular LeBron, because they decided to take the movie in a different direction. Right. And they decided not to have you as a director. LeBron himself is like a multi-magnet conglomerate for not just basketball, but business, media, production, and the whole nine. He had his own vision. That guy wasn't a part of it. B. Avery. It's just pure hating. It is what it is.
Yeah, you're right. And like you were saying, man, the original got 44% on Rotten Tomatoes. But this one did even worse. It got 29%. It just wasn't the best film. Again, I don't necessarily disagree with what he had to say. Me personally, a director in Hollywood should not be talking about another director in Hollywood. Like, unless they're doing just some real foul stuff, a YouTuber shouldn't be talking bad about another YouTuber. But Elliot, how you feeling about this, man? I'm coming to you next, man. How you feeling about these comments from Mr. Pitka?
Yeah, Mr. Pitka, who looks like a crazy man. Yeah, man. If I'm not mistaken, he only directed 2 movies in his career. Not bashing him or anything, but I mean, what's my man been doing since the last films come out? So especially what he's been doing to be like, it took me 5 times to watch it. Unless I fell asleep. But
when you get that old, Elliot, it's hard to stay awake.
Right? I guess, man. But it's, as Lamont said, it's just someone who's probably a little bit bitter. He hasn't been in the limelight in quite some time, and he looks that way. But Look, there's a little bit of truth in it. I finally saw. I didn't when we talked about it last week. I didn't get a chance to see it, but I finally sat down and watched it. It took me a couple times to watch it as well. I'm not gonna lie, but it's not that bad. Again, I don't know where all the hate's coming from. I think that's the thing in the culture. It's always good to hate on something, as we'll talk about. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe a little bit later. But it's whatever. It's whatever, man. We get these old heads, 82-year-old directors that hasn't directed anything in 30 years, just talking. Who interviewed this man? First off, did someone just come to his house? His back his house?
Elliot is funny, y'all.
Who interviewed? I don't know that. Did Bugs Bunny interview him?
I don't know. I guess
he called TMZ himself.
Yeah.
That's what he did. He called TMZ because he needed 15 more minutes of fame.
Exactly.
And somebody, I guess they just reached out to him because he was related to the first one, and if that, no one will be hearing from this guy. You know what I'm saying? That's the wrong quote. But Larry, I'm coming to you, man. How you feeling about this, bro? How you feeling about this?
Yeah, that's just straight hateration right there. I mean, this was the best kids movie since I don't know. This was the end game of kids movies. There was everyone in here. They threw all WB's characters, and I'm joking when I say it's the end game of there. But they threw everybody in here from a grown person's perspective. A lot of people are going to watch this movie and be like, "This was trash." But if you're like a 10-year-old, you're going to be like, "This movie was awesome," and this is going to be like their big Space Jam, like was for us. It's going to be that for their generation. They're going to love it because these kids grew up on LeBron. They grew up on the people that I forgot what they called them. They were the monsters before. I think this time they were the Monstars
and Goon Squad the second time.
Yeah, Goon Squad. So they were, they're familiar with all the characters in there. And some of the other characters that were like doing cameos, they may not know who they are yet. But what's going to happen is as they get older and they start watching some of these shows, they're going to see them and they're going to be like, "Oh, snap, that's that character from Space Jam." And that's how they're going to relate to some of these kids. Like some of these kids probably haven't watched Game of Thrones. And when they do watch it, they're going to be like, "Oh, snap, that's that's dude from Space Jam, or that's so-and-so from whatever, Superman movie or whatever." They're going to see all kinds of other characters in there. And that's what they're going to associate it back to. I think it was one of those things where if you're a grown up, you probably didn't like this movie. And you probably didn't like it because this movie was wholly produced, not for you. Mm-hmm. It was made for your little kids. It probably wasn't even fully made for your teenagers. It was made for your little kids. I'm going to say between like 6 and 12.
Yeah.
B. Avery, let me make a point too.
Go ahead.
This is how you know that he's hating. It is one thing to criticize the movie itself, but he started taking direct digs at LeBron. That's when you cross the line from you being a critic of the art to you just hating. That's how you can always detect if someone's hating, when they start getting personal about the individual and not the work of art itself.
Right on. Yeah, I don't know. Look at his filmography though. It's more than me, but I'm just saying, like, you cannot talk about anybody else if this is what your resume looks like. Now, the last time Space Jam in '96 was at over 25 years ago or 25 years ago. Short commercials, literally nothing. He has not made a feature in 25 plus years. And so, hey, that'll still probably be more. I probably will never ever make a movie. I'll never ever say never. But I'm just saying, this was he should have just kept his damn mouth shut and just should have said this is it wasn't for me and just kind of left it at that. But and
that's likely why they didn't ask him back.
Yeah. So
and plus Michael Jordan, for those of you who don't keep up with sports, Michael Jordan, instead of coming out giving his opinion on things, he has hired trolls. This guy sounds like he's one of them MJ hired trolls. That's what it sounds like.
Right on. And so let's get away from the hater and move on to kind of another hater, and we're gonna see.